Are you ready?
Almost.
And how can we help you tonight?
We're just trying to basically find a car and see what the price is for. Just trying to get some information on what it's going to cost. Because she's going to get a card and information on what it's going to cost.
Okay. Well, we'll do that here in a minute. We like to do it, get it on tape. We put it on cable TV locally, and we...
I don't want to do it.
No.
Oh, okay.
Too late. You're done. Wow. You're in it now. Right up to you.
This is so visual, but we encourage questions.
Yeah, we do want to let the audience know that we are recording the show, so don't give out any information you don't want disseminated.
But we're not going to be.
No, the camera's on me the whole
Yeah,
time,
that's-
so yeah,
okay.
the cam here. We just
There's,
capture your
piece of
questions
paper
and then our
and-
responses, basically.
Yeah.
How to ask questions.
Take down notes.
Yeah, I brought my notebooks. Do you have rows maybe?
On occasion, yes.
On occasion.
No.
Otherwise, how would I find them?
Well, you would put your name up, and when a girl had an opening, he would give you a call.
Oh, okay. Where do you put your name?
In the office.
In the office. Okay.
Why is she getting told that the dispensaries are illegal if there's like 4 or 5 here in town?
Well, they are illegal to a point, and run a risk. So, and dispensaries is maybe what the somebody else calls them. So, I mean, we've been referred to as a dispensary, and we're nothing of the sort, really.
Okay, because we went to one and they said, yeah, just come back once she has her card. And then she called, I don't know where she called, but she said that they told her that that's illegal, she couldn't do that.
Well, yeah, here. If she called here and said, ask about our dispensary services and stuff, well,
Oh, yeah, okay.
we don't do that. That's illegal.
But you can't.
Yeah, I mean, you run the risk if you happen to be there when they storm in, like this Highway 22 outfit. I don't know if you heard about that.
No.
The place raided. It was out on Highway 22. And I don't know about their process. If they checked cards, if they had anything there indicating exchange for consideration, because that's what makes it illegal. There's no convention for buying and selling. Okay, we are logged in. Right? Hold on a second.
Now he's getting on the internet. So you have no place at your residency to have a small garden.
We don't want to. We have children,
Okay.
and I don't think it would be safe there. That's why we're gonna go there.
Well, the state asked for an extra $50 for the grower fee.
Right. Yeah, I'm aware of that. And it's worth it.
Yes.
Hello, testing 1, 2, 3. Are you reading me, Houston? Hello, hello, hello. Okay. we rolling?
Yep.
All right, we've been rolling. Oh, hey, I'm sorry, out there in TV land. I've just been ignoring you, trying to get all the internet access going here. It's not like we don't care about you. And hello, video land, hopefully. Please let me know where's the... Oh, we got several viewers, hey? Where's the chat? There's the chat. All right, so welcome to the Mercy Weekly meeting. It happens every Wednesday at 7 p.m. here at 1745 Capitol Street Northeast in Salem, Oregon. And its purpose is to network folks on the issues around medical cannabis here in Oregon and actually across the U.S. and around the world. MercyCenters.org has pages set up, web pages for all 50 states. We get calls, emails from those states. We also get calls from around the world. Take a visit to our website, MercyCenters.org, and see the list of places and communications and things that are going on there, particularly recipes, ideas on growing tips and tricks, what strain works best for different conditions, and other valuable information that is useful to the medical cannabis community. The Mercy Weekly meeting is free and open to the public. Folks are encouraged to come down and get information relevant to getting their card now, finding medicine in the short term, and in the long term, finding a grower or getting to grow themselves. Best methods on medicating and changes, whether you're making a change or changes to the program, like the Senate Bill 281, which is going to add PTSD to the list of qualifying conditions. And we usually start off the meeting by surveying our crowd here and seeing what the issues that they are having here. And as we were discussing earlier, folks are looking for a grower. We discussed the parameters of their situation, and it's not going to be able to grow at their place. Do you have grow experience yourself? Have you had a place to grow? Could you?
No.
No. Okay. So they want a nice setup there. Good. Well, it's good to know what you want. If hopefully you can match up to a grower that has an existing garden, so we can help you with medicine here in the short term till your crop comes in. But if you're going with a grower who doesn't have one going, then you may have to look at these short-term solutions, places that call themselves dispensaries, or what have you, co-ops, clubs. The Mercy Center here, we always hand out excess here on Wednesday evenings. So folks who need medicine know to come here, hopefully. And in your guys' case, you're going to need a grower to get the card then? So, or are you going to...
I need a grower so I can get
Yeah,
the
yeah.
card.
You don't want to get that and then have to work for it and then make that change, because it's $100 to change over, make that change.
So what we can do for you is you be your grower and we put down our address. And so we'll have 6 of your plants growing during the season. And you get whatever arrangements we'll make that for you. I cure those stuff and I give my patients 2 ounces a month.
That's if Pete was to be your grower, for example. I don't know if you have room. Do you, Pete?
I have a little space for a person that's their own grower.
Oh, no, I don't want to be my own grower.
No, it's just written down.
Oh, yeah. That's one thing that folks can do is to
I see.
put themselves down as the grower and then put the grow address where the grow is actually happening down for the address.
Okay.
This eliminates that $50 fee for the grower when you do that.
I see.
But again, you need someone with an established grow already going, because that protection, the card for the grow site, goes with you and not with that grower. And so he needs that protection. So he has another card set that takes care of that then. That's free to go with you in that case then. You're going to end up with 3 cards from the patient. There's the patient card, there's the caregiver card, and then there's the grower card. And so there's 3 places in your application to register with the state. Generally, folks put in the caregiver position someone who's going to be with the patient on a regular basis, a family member, or their caregiver if they're assigned one from health services or something in that manner.
But that's optional, correct?
Correct. You can put yourself in.
Yeah, I could put,
So
yeah.
we don't have to put in a third address. We can just leave it to the 2 addresses, right?
Correct.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, my address, my name, and then the growers.
Right. Right.
Right.
Now that caregiver position, if there's anybody who's ever going to be in a position to come and get medicine for you from Mercy Center or any other one of the facilities, that will put that person down there.
Okay.
Someone's going to be in
we
your
have
home.
the same address. Can she still put me down to come pick it up for her?
Yes, it's a name thing, you know, and you're going to need to supply an ID with that, so it should be the same address.
Okay.
Yeah. Someone's going to be in the household, even so much as going to get your medicine from one room and bringing it to you.
Okay, yeah.
You might want to consider putting that person as that caregiver. But it depends. Like I said, there's a lot of things that if the grower is willing to come to you, this is usually a situation where the transportation issues for the patient. See? Okay. Now, just out of curiosity, is your doctor going to sign for you, or did you need to go to one of the clinics?
No, my doctor signed for it.
Oh, excellent. Very good.
Yeah.
And is he with one of the clinics with a
He's a rheumatologist up in Portland.
an independent, or is
Independent.
he? Oh, good.
Yeah,
Probably helps.
Yeah.
That's where we are. Okay, very good. And yeah, rheumatology, especially the pain from it.
right.
And we should really educate, if you're not already, on the cannabis oils applied topically, rubbed into
Right.
the thing here. So,
Where do you get those?
well, you know, go to one of the facilities, network to people. So, in the short term, you're looking for medicine. You've got these facilities, these services people offer. There's even some that offer to deliver to you, and they're quite open in discussing the quantities and amounts. When you communicate to them, I think normally it's email, some of them have phone. And again, as we discussed earlier before we came online to folks, when folks talk weights and amounts, you're no longer covered by OMA, because OMA doesn't allow exchanging for consideration. That means money for medicine or anything of value, really. And the feds are really tight on it. They don't even allow you to donate for medicine. You know, I'm just giving it to as a donation, to, you know, to the grower for his you know, it's as long as there's that connection. Now, legally, first off, the patient should be aware that as far as the relationship between you and your grower, you can reimburse the grower for all their expenses. Anything that basically they produce paper for, rent, an invoice, electricity bill, water bills, food store, you know, grow equipment, anything of that nature. Currently, labor is the only thing that's really excluded.
Right.
See, generally, particularly if the grower has multiple patients, they'll take all the numbers up, and including their overhead and anything else they can get in under the umbrella there, and divvy it up and call it rent and charge the patient a number, you know, like that, round number of calling it of that nature. Now, sometimes the grower can make special arrangements for the patient depending on your situation. Not all of them are in it for the money or what have you. So some patients are of modest means, they have a lot of money, but they're not high needs. So they'll work out with your grower how much medicine you're going to need on a regular basis and how much funding, you know, you can help to it.
So they don't sell by the ounce?
That's generally how it's measured and weighed out and determined.
So it's not a flat fee per month per
It
amount?
can be depending on what the rent charge.
Right. They'll figure in all the costs and what your needs are.
And then they'll tell you.
Right. I mean, if you're taking up most of the medicine that's coming out of it, you'll probably get, most of the rent.
Right,
Tab.
okay.
See.
Okay.
But if it's a patient with modest means, now that's a rule of thumb. There's no like union or anything that really, provides guidelines and monitors growers yet. We're constantly working on establishing networks and all. So folks should check out our website and look at our list of forums. We got a bunch of places where folks can go online, chat, and register, post your hey, I'm looking for a grower thing, and get a lot of feedback from folks. The good, the bad, the ugly, the pretty. A couple of times we've gotten some folks have actually printed out these little not wanted posters. Somebody's burned them. They've gotten pictures and printed up some stuff and dropped it off at our meeting, place, and it's not always a good. Things work out for everybody. But in the meantime, just communicate with integrity, I guess. Have good, solid numbers of what your expectations are as far as how much funding you can give. Try to look at what you do now. If you're going out to the black market, that's what you're scraping up, and that's what you can, logically expect to raise for the grower. And so, talk, again, honestly in terms of what you can do to help, and don't be shy about interviewing this potential grower. It's going to cost you to change, no matter how bad they are. The state makes no exemption, no exceptions. They don't have not a lot of rules and stuff. Again, the funding thing, your expectations, how much medicine you need. If you have transportation issues, you need to have it there delivered. You need it you need it baked, or you need it processed in somehow that's going to not be possible in the same manner that you can't grow there. If you want to make butter, it's a process that smells kind of grassy. Not exactly like cannabis, but not everyone's fond of it. Not everyone likes it. So you might, if you need that done, but can of butter made, stuff like that. Now the oil process is not it's not intrusive like that. So that's something you may do. And that's what we talk about, the medicating. That's also relevant in helping folks get signed up with their doc. Pete will, I'm sure, give us a demonstration later on the cannabis oil application process. Basically, you take the oil out of a container and rub it on topically in the affected areas. Folks that have joint inflammation, injuries, skin conditions, carpal tunnel, spasticity, spasms in particular area and stuff, tremors, and so forth. Congestion, pain, pressure, swelling, I guess. We've had reports of folks using the oil to rub it in here for migraines, stuff like that. Folks here with congestion, since the toxicity level is nil, you don't get high from it. Folks use it on their kids, on children. It acts the same, almost like Bengay there. Jeez, yeah. When we end the war, we'll break it down, we'll find it out. I'm sure it's something to do with the CBDs and CBDNs and the cannabinols, the endo stuff, the non-THC stuff that's involved, really. So, folks, get your card. You got to go out and find medicine now. You check out all these places. Go to our forums and talk about let's see the places there. Look at the meetings and meetups, like this weekly meeting. And if you don't have your card yet, but who knows? Maybe the medicine fairy can leave some oil where you can find it here on your way. No telling. And because it's important to network folks to the medicine. In some cases, it's a matter of life and death for folks. And help them to get their cards, help them to find medicine in the short term. But really, we don't want to fish for you so much as teach you to fish, really.
Right.
So examine the grow situation. If folks are looking to grow, thinking about it, see if they have the 4 pillars, as it were. If they have what we refer to as earth, air, fire, and water. Fire being electricity, if you will. Water, they have water flow to it. They have air. You need a good airflow if you're indoor. And earth, air, fire, water. The sun, or the electricity, if you will. Earth, of course, being what you're growing it in. Soil, even soil indoors, some mixture soil, substitute, if you will. And then, of course, hydro or even aeroponics if you want to get really fancy. Of course, it's almost like a scale of expense as you go that route. Outdoors, obviously, being pretty much the most inexpensive, going to the aeroponic indoor and stuff. But you have the most control. You have the most productivity, if you will, per space. That's where you're really able to get a good control of the pruning, the sexing of the plants, certainly bug control, molds and things like that, climate changes. You don't have to worry about the frost or long-term rains and stuff. So after looking at the grow situation and then talking about the grower situations and giving as much information as we can, usually we have a number of growers here, but they're snatched up. We have a paper form that we have folks fill out, but honestly there's a big folder of them now, and it's not easy for us to get a grower to get their information to us or down there. And we don't want to give out your information. Just anybody comes in and says, "Oh yeah, we encourage them to come here if at all possible." And eventually we'll get something online where folks can, get their own kind of forum, bulletin boards, if you will. There's actually bulletin boards now on the web. And you'll see folks saying, "Hey, I can grow for folks," or "I'm looking for a grower," and leave their email address. We didn't need to make it more sophisticated. Kind of a registry thing, just give your email address or something to contact, but what region are you in, what kind of grower are you, and for the patient, what your limitations and expectations are. Get those up front as much as possible.
How would I know what kind of medicine I need? I guess there's different varieties.
Mm-hmm. There's the 2 main groups are indica and sativa. Indica being a more sedative sedative. It's kind of knocks you out, couch lock, kind of is the terms they say.
After work.
After work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sativa is more energetic, and they both have, depending on the strain, ability to work with pretty much all the conditions. But indicas are more for pain. Sativas, some of the other, some of your nauseas and other, the more serious things like that. There's a big move on to put this information more central. We're certainly working on that, trying to get that so you can look it up by condition, look it up by strain, and then from that strain you look at the different ways of on either side of it, the growing, what's best for the growing, and then what's best for processing. Is it a spar spindly thing? Is it something that's I've seen some that's real crystally and it's like all over the stems and stalks and everything else, you know. So after taking the buds and the filet mignon of it, the rest of it can go in the soup pot, really. Stalks, stems, everything. I would get out the seeds if all possible if you have seeds in there, but taking them. Now, so you've got your grower or your grow, hopefully. You've got your medicine. You'll be getting it usually in the vegetative state, in the dried manner, usually for smoking.
I don't want to smoke it.
Good. Well, good. It's not like good, but we get a lot of that, and we have information for you. That's the good news, I guess. So there's the vaporizing, which is a running extremely hot air over the medicine, creating a vapor, and then you inhale the vapor. And the word to caution here, folks, they try to treat the vapor like smoke, and if they're trying to inhale it and consume as much as possible and stuff like that. Folks using vaporizer should really just kind of breathe normally and not try to maximize the intake there. Don't worry, it's not going anywhere. Vaporizers range in price from a model called like the Volcano. It's used generally for someone who's high needs. There's a lot of medicine able to process through that one at a time. It does give you enough medicine to last pretty much through the day and even more actually though, so depending on the patient's situation. If it's something where the patient's not likely or able to do all the process necessary to load and generate it, may have a caregiver then or come and process that, set that bag, and they're able to use it then all day. And just to describe it, it's, as I said, it's called a Volcano. It's a little cylindrical type shape in this one. The medicine is put in, the hot air is run through, vapor is created and collected in a bag. You can use, depending on the situation, larger, smaller bags, larger, smaller medicine.
Turkey roasted bag.
Turkey roasted bag will give you a quantity with, I don't know, 15, 20 applications to it.
And it would be good the day that you filled it, a week later.
Yeah, a number of days later it'll still have its vitality, its efficacy.
And if you want to just put it in capsules,
Then you can make an oil. You could take the ground up medicine itself. You could take the oil. When you make the oil, use some edible base for it. Yeah, you can make capsule forms of medicine.
so you just take the marijuana and put it in the capsule and shot it, and that's it.
You can do that. You can grind it up into like a powderish.
Like a powder. and
Yeah.
just Put it in there.
In there. You can make an oil from it, and then put the oil into capsules.
And I find out how to make oil.
It's very easy. You would basically just take some medicine once you get it from the grower or facility, network to folks, and fill it with some oil that again is like an olive oil or coconut oil,
Grapeseed oil.
grapeseed. Yeah, it's edible, I suppose. Appleseed oil. Consume that orally, sure.
Okay.
Now, so you put your medicine in, fill it with oil, let it sit in a cool, dry, that can be warm temperature, that can be cold, cool. But in a
Cool,
dark place, don't let the sun on it. You want to agitate it on a regular basis. The more it gets stirred up, the more it's going to get into the oil there. After 30 days, you'll drain off some of the oil there, as much as you want to consume there.
And you keep the mash there. My mash is over 13 years old. when I first started. And I keep on adding olive oil to it when it needs it, or at the end of the harvest. So I'll take a few choice bites and what leaves and put it in there.
So, drain it off, refill it, add more medicine, repeat the process, use that batch that you poured off, make it into capsules. Depending on your ratio,
Uh-huh.
would be more or less concentrated.
Less oil, make it more potent.
Right. You may want to experiment, determine your titration, your dosage,
Right.
little bit, wait, good length of time.
Yeah, because I've never used any, so I have no idea as to how much
Right.
is the dose.
Now,
Well, with the rubbing it, you just need your fingertip.
Right.
That's all you need. If you don't feel relief in 45 an hour, do it again. But before you put on the third time, you should be feeling all pain.
another process for making it, excuse me, an oil-based cannabis medicine is to apply heat to it, to cook it. This will speed it up the process. I think what, 6 hours, Pete?
Yeah, same with butter.
You cook it with oil?
Yeah, again,
Yeah.
the same oils that we,
Same way you just-
again, all those oils we rattle off you can use in cooking. So you put the medicine in the pot, add the oil to it, and you add any water?
You can add water to it, and that'll give it something to that, but you're not boiling, you simmer it, and you stir
Right.
it to get the cannabis.
You don't want to boil it because you get the temperature too high, you're going to vaporize it. So keep it at a simmer.
And that's why you have the water in there, because you can see it floating on top before you stir it, and that's not.
You want to stir it on a regular basis again, and when it's done, you'll strain it out and collect the oil in that manner. I suppose you could put the mash that's left over into a jar and start boiling that, although
Well,
most of
you
the
added
potency is taken
heat
out of
to
it.
This is why I use the cold method
Mhm.
in making the yellow oil. Because you can use the cold method and heat it up for your food. Or add it in as one of the ingredients with your food.
So the heat method is quick. If there's an immediacy to it, you could take some of the process, use it that way, and put the rest in the cold. But it is, it does use it up. Whereas the cold method is more of an ongoing, long term. So consider those things in it. Now, cooking is mostly used with the butters and cream, stuff like that. Although you can use your cream, cold creams also. Take the raw cannabis, mince it up nice, mix it in with a cream, even like Noxzema, for example. Let it sit and then apply it topically. And the cannabis would be suffused into there in the same manner as in oil. So,
So do you grind it to put it into the cream?
right.
Right.
So in that manner, in that case, you would. If you're oiling, if you're using butter, for example, and folks with sleep issues, apnea, should look at this too, taking it internally, whether in capsule form or using butter to make baked goods. And the good news is, and word of advice, folks, taking too much or overdosing, really you don't need to call the emergency room unless you're, losing blood or something like that. If you're seeing vertigo, dizziness, some nausea. Those are the typical things of cannabis overdose. That's usually all you're going to experience. If anything more is happening, yeah, then definitely go to the hospital. But otherwise, if you're simply too stoned, please don't waste the emergency room's time. Yeah.
So the other day, we're sitting in the office, and my buddy, he goes into seizures on occasion, very rarely. And I noticed him jerking his head, and it was sometime he went into a seizure. And we held him down. It wasn't a long one, but we ended up blowing smoke into him, and you almost seen it immediately. The seizure was gone, just by inhaling the secondhand smoke.
Wow.
Yeah, if we'd had a vaporizer able to ventilate to it, so it would have been much more efficacious. And yeah, think of the day when, that may be part of the emergency equipment. Lord knows it would help folks that suffer from strokes. They found out that cannabis applied to stroke victims within the first 5 minutes of their episode created a 75% success rate, survival rate.
Wow.
It was fantastic, something about it. But the study was destroyed, and one of many. This is one of the many things discovered by Jack Hare, then published in his book, The Emperor Wears No Clothes. Since then, there's been another study exposed or written about, a study involving cancer and its potential ability to cure cancer itself. There was a study in 1974 in Virginia, and nobody can find that study anymore. It was destroyed by prohibitionists, maybe. Gee, who knows? They're the ones in charge there of the store, the foxes in there in the hen house. Yeah, it's funny seeing all stuff about the IRS, because we applied for 501c3 and they put us through heck and basically denied us the 501c3, even worse than the Tea Party went through. So tough luck, Charlies. Maybe if you'd not let them gang up on us, we could all resist this crapola nonsense. So we're always, trying to, it's always an effort to get the information out, to network with folks, to walk the line there, even though the feds can come in at any time and sweep up anybody, because everything's illegal under federal law, as it were, blah blah blah. But there's some laws are changing. There's certainly folks coming along, more and more folks getting with the program, and I think we're going to overgrow them if nothing else. There's just too many of us out there, doing what we do, whether folks like ourselves or folks that are focusing on one thing. There's a lot of folks that are just working on networking medicine. They're not really helping folks get their card or working with them on different methods of medicating and stuff like that. And, good for them. They're not the wrong ones. It's the war that's wrong, and so anybody that, gets raided or affected by the authorities, please contact us. We'll put you in touch with the best legal help possible, as well as folks to come to the court proceedings. Let's work on de-electing these folks that we can, the judges and the prosecuting attorneys, not just the officials, our elected officials, the U.S. and state representatives and senators. This last legislative session, there was a bill to add PTSD, Senate Bill 281, and out of the 30 senators, 11 said no. 11 of them said we want veterans to suffer, to not only go through their PTSD and everything, but suffer arrest and all the crapola and nonsense, to have people come into their homes with guns and stuff, after they've served their country, making sure that doesn't happen to citizens. They're now, not afforded the same privilege given it to, heck, rich people or even cops, police. Cops still have the best dope here today. That situation still is true. And it's sad and wrong that our veterans don't have access to it, and folks of that social rank and up do it. That in itself.
Right.
not just the waste, the cost, the dollar, and senselessness of it, if you will. So, at least we've got that. That bill is passed through. It's going to be signed by the governor here later this month, and it'll be added to the list of qualifying conditions that folks can get their card for. Veterans no longer have to hope that they are lucky enough to have pain or from an injury related to their PTSD or nausea from medicine that they take for their PTSD, because currently that's the only way that folks with it can get with the program. And it's not just veterans, it's a huge, vast array of folks, you know. We have some newsletters here. Folks, the volume of the left's case needs to be turned up. We got some chat here? Hey, hold on a second, folks. Settings. How's that? You're not loud, just a couple of clicks. How's that? Yeah, Pete's not coming in real loud to folks out there in video land.
Well, I just have to speak up loudly.
We'll try to mic him up next time so he comes in loud and clear. I'm coming through fine. There you go. Of course, I'm the only one that matters. Just kidding. So where were we? We were talking about war in general, I think. I was off on a rant. I'm putting a newsletter together, and I'm reading about this professional snitch that's coming back online. He's rehired by the DAA after basically being fired for multiple counts of perjury there and so forth. But heck, lying's no problem. That's kind of been their forte. That's how they got this war started. That's how they keep it going. So no problem there. And hopefully we can get the kind of attention that has been focused on the IRS to the DEA and other agencies that are keeping this nonsense going. You know, the only people who didn't get their budget cut this session, you know, the only ones that didn't get sequestered, and spending all their resources going after the medical potheads, if you will. There was a series of raids here in Oregon. There was, not in addition to the one down here on Highway 22, a place much like us down in Eugene. They were a cooperative. I'm sure they were referred to as a dispensary by others. They're certainly going to be painted as one by the local authorities, but they were a kind of place that folks with no money could go to and get some medicine. You know, it wasn't a cash and carry operation, as far as I know. No sooner say that than boom, the cops will throw some video up showing the dealing, you know, got a cash machine, cha-ching, cha-ching. And again, we were talking about some of the places that get in trouble, and you know, no exchange for consideration. So you know, don't talk weights and amounts. They'll say how much medicine can I get for X amount of dollars. Places that have menus up, you know, saying how, you know, this costs that costs this. You know, that's clearly, you know, not covered by OMA. Authorities that you know, go into places and see that, then everything's kind of you know, taken up. You're there, all the medicine you have with you, you know, is subject to confiscation and being included in this conspiracy, if you will. So that's why we.
When you buy, do you buy with cash or do you do checks?
It's normally a cash thing. Some places have credit cards. Some take checks.
Donations.
Right. And yeah, you know, places will have their own rules about terminology.
Okay.
Yeah. When growers or anybody with excess medicine are here, they want to network with the patients there that are here that need the medicine. You know, we let them know what the rules are, and if they need to go outside that boundary, they could please like take that out of here so our landlord doesn't get in trouble. Then we're okay. You know, we'd be happy to stand with them in court to talk about, you know, how this is necessary, because we don't have a dispensary system. You know, And they keep not letting have it, and then say, talk about issues like this. Well, let's go to court and make it, we're not wrong. It's the system that's wrong, and so as long as folks are acting in good faith, as long as you're not talking in terms like that, if there's a grower here, pushes some medicine to you and wishes you a good day, and if you're going to leave some funding for the grower so they can keep on doing that, but it's not related to the medicine. Okay, I could walk away and everything's cool. This only has to be explained again if authority comes in. If they were to boom suddenly come in, or you leave and they pull you over and la la la. If they can play a tape of the place here with people talking like that, then your defense is out the window. So that's what we believe. No, that's what our attorney is willing to go to court with us and all. That's what we encourage folks in practice. Other folks, they have different systems. Not all their people practice all good policy too. So you may get with a place, they'll set you up with somebody and it doesn't work out and you have to go back to that place again. There's one situation I heard where you temporarily sign over someone as your grower. They carry a paper for 30 days or something like that, so that then they can say, okay, well, I need so much money for rent. But that's a temporary situation. They never actually file the paperwork. If there's an issue, then that's the defense. But after 30 days, the paper's no good. Hopefully, issues will come up within that time frame. So I don't know if you'll encounter that with some of the other places. Please get an Oregon Cannabis Connection that we have there in the store, and check out the list of places throughout it, but also in the back. Everybody who does any kind of thing, meetings. Not everybody has meetings like us, but you can at least contact them. You can see, do you have any growers? Do you do matchups and stuff? Do you have any excess medicine? What's your process? And then let us know. I'd love to find certainly. We got a list of them. We got a web page with everybody that we know of. So, yeah.
So we got about 5 minutes left on the show. How did you find about this meeting?
My daughter went on the internet.
On the internet? Okay.
Cool. So, toodles and see you later to the folks out there on Channel 23 land. We'll see you next time. Thanks to CCTV and producer PK for making it happen. And come on down to see us at the station and check out our Friday night show. It happens 7 p.m. Tune in then or come on down. Also the monthly TV show. Call us. Yes. 503-588-6444. Friday night, 7 to 7:30, Channel 23. Be there or be a square, man. Thank you, Toodles. Now, as for you virtual folks.
You want to say anything before I turn it off, Glenn?
Yes, good night.
Good night. God bless you all, every single one of you.